Hello, viewers. My name is Zach Hardy, and welcome to the first episode of USW Power Rankings, where I read off the top 10 performers in USW this week, according to USW. If you don't know how the series works, well, it's simple. USW has a weekly power ranking list released on its website every single week, listing the top 10 performers in USW for that very week, going from 10 to 1. I'm here to read off and give a little bit, a very primal thought on why and what I think of their spot on this list. It's the first episode, they've done 3. This is their 3rd. And before I get into it, let's do the plugs. If you have any questions for the Hardiac Wrestling Podcast, if you have any wrestling-related questions for the Hardiac Wrestling Podcast or any non-wrestling-related questions for the Hardiac Question and Answer Series, send them to me one of 3 ways, either via my email, unitards@gmail.com. It's unitards with 2 Z's at the end @gmail.com. Send them to me on Twitter, @ZacharySerra, @ZACHARYSERRA. That's, just like that, no capital letters, no underscores, no numbers, none of that bullshit. Or you can send them to me on Twitter, or you can send them to me in the YouTube comments below, and I'll get to them in either a future episode of the Hardiac Wrestling Podcast or the Hardiac Questions and Answer Series. Anyway, let's get into the Power Rankings. Power Rankings for the week of May 29th, 2016. Number 10, Appetite for Destruction, making the list after becoming the new number 1 contenders for the USW Tag Team Championships. I'm fine with this. It gives them a little bit of, I don't know. It gives them a little bit of some momentum going into their match at USW Warzone 1 this Sunday, making the list for the first time ever, and I'm fine with this pick. Number 9, Austin Atomic, after jumping up from number 10 last week, after becoming a new number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Again, I'm fine with this. It's not too big of a jump, but it's not too little. Beating Anarchy this past Sunday at No Remorse, getting a World Championship championship match against Hernastly this Sunday at Warzone 1. I'm fine with this. This is a great spot for Austin Atomic, and again, right choice. Number 8, Cannon, USW Champion, moving down from number 4 last week, jumping down further after being made an example of by the new number 1 contender for the USW Championship, Morbid, on this past week's Intensity. I think it's fine jumping down. Even though he's been getting beat up for the past couple of weeks, and he has been winning matches, but getting beat up, being made an example of, and I think this is a little bit of a spot where Cannon deserves to be on this list. I think if he loses this Sunday at Warzone 1, he's going to be jumped off of the list completely, and that's for next week. But we'll see what happens. Good choice for a Cannon. Number 7, 2016 Key and Case winner, Crimson Red, who stays in his position from number 7 last week after beating Simon Sato at No Remorse 2016 and having another match against Ty Jackson at Warzone 1 this Sunday. Again, I'm fine with this. Didn't boost it. I mean, maybe number 6 would have been an all right spot, but I'm fine with number 7. Number 6, Samuel North, Extreme Champion, after last week, or jumping down from last week's number 1 spot, after being made an example of by number 1 contender Derrick Carter this past Wednesday on Intensity. I think this is a bit of a drastic jump from number 1 to number 6, but then again, he has been made an example of the past couple of weeks. Derrick Carter's been getting the upper hand, and I'm surprised, to be honest, that he was in the number 1 spot, last week. But again, fine. Number 5, Hernastly, World Heavyweight Champion, going down from last week, and number 2. Beating Dustin Raymond at Western Light at No Remorse 2016, and being made an example of by number 1 contender for the World Championship, Austin Atomic, this past Severity. Again, I think this is a drastic drop from last week at number 2. Maybe a number 4 spot would have been all right, but he did beat Dustin Raymond and Western Light in a 3-ways match to retain the World Championship, so I don't think a number 5 was a position he should be in. Number 4, Wolf Granger, after last week being not even made on the list, making his debut on the list, just like Appetite for Destruction, after dominating Alex Martin this past Sunday at No Remorse and having another match against him at Warzone 1 this Sunday. I'm perfectly fine with the spot. Number 3, Derrick Carter, jumping up again after being on the list at number 6 last week, continuing to jump on the list after making an example of Samuel North, the man that he will challenge for the Extreme Championship this Sunday at Warzone 1. I'm fine with this. He jumped up on the list every single week, and he's being a prime dominant performer on the roster. I'm fine with this. Number 2, Chris Ross, international champion, jumping up from last week being at number 5 after winning the title this past Sunday at No More 2016 and defending the title again this Sunday at Warzone 1 against Yo-Yo Joe, the man he defeated to win the title. I'm fine with this. This is a great jump, great position for Chris Ross to be in. And I think even if he loses the International Championship, which he probably won't this Sunday, he will still be on this list next week. And number 1, of course, Morbid, after jumping up from last week, number 3, making an example and winning the USW Championship Tournament finals this past Wednesday, making an example of USW Champion Cannon, the man he will face at Warzone 1 this Sunday. If he wins the title, I think he's going to continue to be at number 1. But then again, that's something we have discussed already. We will continue to discuss after all, after all the deeds have been done. Anyway, guys, that is episode 1 of USW Power Rankings. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any wrestling-related questions for Hardy Wrestling Podcast or any non-wrestling-related questions for the Hardy Question and Answer Series, send me one of 3 ways. That's unitars@gmail.com. Send me at Twitter @ZacharySerra, that's ZACHARYSERRA. No capital letters, no underscores, no numbers, none of that bullshit. Or send me on YouTube. I'll get to them in a future episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast or Hardy Questions and Answer Series. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Don't know if I'll make another episode of this. We'll find out. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Zach Hardy, signing off.